If you got this far in the video, folks, maybe drop us a subscribe and a like, comment, press that bell icon, all that sort of stuff. Really does help little channels like me grow. And it's nice to see you in our community. See you in a bit. Right, I'm down the Syndicate today. Just finished lugging all the gear down, and this is our swim. So this is the footpath. That's us. So I'm returning back to this waters. I've not fished it for a very long time. Easy 20 years. This was one of my favourite spots back in the day. It's had a bit of work done to it. And that's what I'm looking at. So that little peninsula over there. The one spot. Got that big reed line over there. And then the overhanging tree just there. And then if there's nobody on the peg next to me, that one as well. Right, I'm going to get this camera down, because we're in for a right weekend. At the moment, pressure is about 1012. It's due to go down to under 1000 tomorrow, but that's because the rain's coming. Some thundery storms throughout the course of the day. Pressure's dropped right down, so got to be in it to win it. Everybody knows carp fishing, low pressure, good times. Gonna have to brave the weather, see what we can catch. So right, I'm gonna get set up and get back to you lot in a bit. Right folks, welcome back to Bivvied Up. I've taken a trip down my new Syndicate. Came down last weekend, but I had to bail. It was way too hot. I got the dogs with me, 3 black Labradors, 1 puppy, golden Labrador puppy. It was brutal. It turned from days trying to catch carp into a day of trying to stop the dogs getting heat exhaustion. So we ended up bailing. Back today though, back with the nameless new boilie. Ooh, that was nice. Nice and big splash of fish behind the camera. Yeah, down on the local Syndicate. It's my new Syndicate. I've joined a new one. It's kind of a return of the old guard for me. I was a member of this place 20 years ago for about 10 years. So knew it relatively well. Having come down last weekend and this weekend, could walk around. Very still similar. Pegs are still where they always were. They've had work done to them. Like this behind me. This was my favourite peg back when I was a youngster. This was a slope. Where that's level behind me, going all the way down to the water. It's like a sandy slope. Nightmare for divvying up on. Good spot in front there in the summer. So yeah, this is where I've come back to, my favourite spot. Hopefully things haven't changed too much. Had a quick scan in front of me. The water ranges at its deepest between 3 foot and 3.5 foot. There's a lot of fish activity out in front of me. I don't know whether it's just a daytime thing or a nighttime thing as well, because it's turned up, so we'll find that out later tonight. But the intention was to do a little bit of zigging. Not really a big fan of zigs, to be honest with you. Get a flip flop in the water, but it's a skill I need to learn and I need to have faith in. And I've never ever caught a fish on a zig, so I have to put a bit of effort in this year. So to start off with though, it's home boilies in bags with, I'm going to put a bit of Krill Supreme quarter scoop in one, and the other, I'm probably just going to put a bit of hemp oil in, I think. Take them out to the centre line, which is where the fish seem to be patrolling up and down, and drop them off in the boat. and see if I can rely on the pulling power of those attractors to just get them to drop down a foot or so. So like I say, between 3.5 and 2.5 foot at each elusive in the middle. All being well, we'll get something to tip up. I'm also out today to test my new reels that were a gift from the loving ladies in my life, my wife and 2 daughters, for Father's Day. These lovely Witchwood agitator bait runners. Sat next to actually the first Witchwood reel that I ever purchased, the Exorcist. Fell in love with that as soon as I saw it. Lovely design, great to fish with. I ended up owning, I've got 9 of them. I had them on all my rods. Recently replaced them with the Sonic GS 10,000, I think they are. They're very nice as well. But these Mavis Satanics, these ones, from my early Carp rods, 2.5 pound chest curve. It's a proper trip down memory lane to this fishing trip. I've got my old rods out, some new reels on it, at an old fishing spot, favourite old fishing spot. So yeah, we'll see how we go. So I'm going to set that one up a bit of an adjustable zig, just so I can have a play about in the top foot or so of the water, and put them through the paces a little bit, I hope. Yeah, I just sit there all weekend now doing nothing. But all being well, we should see some fish. The pressure's about 1014 at the moment. There's a storm coming, and tomorrow it should drop to about 900 and something, which is low pressure, which is awesome for carp fishing. I don't think it's going to matter that much at the depth of water that I am in currently. When I seem to remember this being a little bit deeper when I was a kid, like in my early 20s, and there being like a bar in the middle with lily pads growing on it. We used to fish up to it. That kind of separated this side from the other side as well. There's a swim straight opposite. There's a water inflow or outlet, one of them two. I'm right at the bottom of the lake down there, so I'm guessing it's built up quite a bit of sediment over the last 20 odd years. So in my head I remember that bar being about 3 foot, and then it dropping off to about 5 foot, between me and the bar in the middle. So, but that's no longer there. So I don't think the air pressure is going to affect it that much. What with it being not that deep, but every little percentage in my basket's another percentage towards catching a fish, and so low pressure is a good thing. We're not going to complain about it. Yeah, that's about it for now. So I'm all set up. This is home for the next 2 nights. All I've got left to do is drop a bit of liquids in the bags. They're ready to go, and boat them out to where I want them. So that's what I'm going to do now, folks. Get back to you in a bit. It's early. Morning, folks. Last night was relatively productive. There's 2 fish. Last night, more of the early hours of this morning. One of them's in the net, the retainer. We'll have a look at that in a minute. The first half of the salmon at the Syndicate. And the other one was a tiny little bream about that big. I had no right being on the end of my hook. So that got put back. That was the last rod. Last fish. and could not be bothered to put it back out again. So one rod for the rest of this morning until I got back up again. It's coming to about 6 o'clock. I'm going to get this coffee down me, wake up a little bit, and then I'll get that fish out to show you. Catch you in a bit. Whoa, steady. Finally, little chunky, 9.5 pound mirror carp. At the back on that lot, that's going to be a beautiful fish when he's a bit bigger. A few more years. Taken off the nameless boilie at the moment. 1 o'clock this morning. Right, get some quick photos off the back. Oh, it's about 9:15 now, and it appears as though the weatherman got it right. I said it was going to rain. He also said thundery showers. So we've had to tidy up inside, squared everything away. About 6 or 7 bags to meet. So I'll be cracking on with that shortly. The rain's coming from behind us, so that's a positive. Keep the main door open. Nothing's going to be getting wet inside. Pressure's dropped below 1,000 now. There's absolutely no activity on top of the water this morning. No cruising, nothing. So maybe the fish are getting their heads down for a bit of a feed. We'll have to see. My plan is to finish this coffee, gather some more boilies out on that centre line, spread them around a bit. Seems to have done the trick so far. Someone's in my backyard, probably our lass with the dogs. And yeah, and we'll settle down, ride this storm out. It's not supposed to be happening all day. Rain in the morning, bit of a thunderstorm mid-afternoon, and then it's supposed to clear up after that. So all being well, bit of a nice evening. Plenty of fish on the horizon. With an early pack up in the morning, so I'll get home early in the morning. Flipping, got wiring to do. Not me personally, Steve. Steve's the electric pixie wrangler. So something chewed through the wires in my office. We're having a look, say we, nothing to do with us. There's a building going off behind us, building a new housing estate on what was once beautiful fields. Bastards, that's what I say about that. And all the upheaval of the backyard, all the upheaval of the habitat behind our house, the beautiful fields, has forced all the critters out. So we've got freaking rats and everything running around everywhere. Now my garden's not a haven for rats, it's very tidy, everything's kept clean and tidy. So they don't have anywhere to live in the garden. But my office is at the bottom of the garden, which is like a raised big shed, big workshop. So it looks like the little gits, nearly said the F word there, the little gits, they've moved in underneath and chewed some of the wires. It's in the walls, which is a bit weird, I suppose, a bit creepy, because I've got power to the lights, I haven't got power to the plug sockets, so they've taken out one of the lower bands of wiring. So that's what I've got to do tomorrow with Steve. See what I've got to do. That's what Steve's going to fix tomorrow, and I'm going to labour for him. And that probably means holding stuff and making several cups of coffee. So yeah, that's Sunday. Back to today though. The rain's coming a bit heavier. Let's turn the tap up a bit. Got a job to do, so I'm going to crack on and do them. Catch you in a bit, folks. Right, folks, camera's back on. There was a little lull in the rain, turned into like fine drizzle. So I took that opportunity to go and get a little bit of scanning done with the boat, find a better spot for this evening. Didn't find one. I happened across what appears to be the best spot first thing yesterday. So, days. So I'm very moist now. What I've got to do, I'll make some bags up, pick up that spot again, and have a tidy up, get ready for this evening. Get something to eat, catch a load more fish. So that's the plan. I'm going to crack on. Right, folks, it's finally stopped raining. Brief interlude. We've not had the thunderstorms yet. They were forecast for a little bit later in the afternoon. And it is 2 o'clock, 2:30. So yeah, it's still time for them. No fish to report. Had the rods in, baited them up, put fresh bags on, sent them back out again, put some more bait on the spot. Pretty much sit and wait now. I'm probably going to get the kettle on, have a ciggy, listen to some tunes and chill out for a bit. When I'm laid down I can see straight out the door and observe my peg. So we'll have to see if any action kicks off. It has been pretty quiet out there for most of the day. No jumps or splashes or anything like there was yesterday. So the weather's very different. So doing well, and pigs have got their heads down in the bottom and then munching, and they'll be making their way over to my swim shortly. Other than that, bit, not much else to report. So I'll see you in a bit. Right then, folks, we broke out the underwater camera and we found a little spot right on the margin. So this is currently our setup. Phone videoing the underwater camera. Little 30 quid thing off Timo, well worth the money. You can see swap that round, we'll go out and have a look at the spot. Now, right, you can see we've got marker float. What I had to do was to let the marker float go flat, slack, as it were, because when I had it pulled tight, it was moving the marker under the water that I'm using to aim to figure out where the camera's pointing, you see. So what you should be able to see in just a second is a few boilies just dropping into shot. 1, 2, it's gone a bit far. That one's gone even further. That one's dropped short. I'm not throwing these in very well. They were pretty much terrible. Pretty much aiming to the float, and all of them went wild. You can tell I don't play darts. Too short. That's better. That's not bad. That was crap. Not bad. Too far. Oh my gosh. Let's try a double. Oh, double was better. Right. So, camera's inside. I've got no idea what that looks like. Let's go have a look. Right, okay. Obviously you'll have seen that drop down. Right. So now the plan is put some pellets over the top of that. In fact, no, we're not. I'm going to put some of the mix out that we've been putting out in the boat. Get a bit of fish activity in there. Anyway, that's recording, so come back out here. Back on the spot again, right. Now I'm not aiming for this to be incredibly accurate, I want to kind of get it everywhere. Go and check the camera. You guys will have seen that dropping down. There's a few more bits in there. Yeah, okay. Now, last few bits can go in. And roach are going to look there. Oh, that's a bit wild. Right. Right. There you go. Can't see anything. There it is. Right. That seems to keep the water clarity up a little bit. So we're going to let that settle. We'll leave the mark for it there. And I'm going to get a couple of different rigs ready for this evening, because it felt, the bottom when I dabbed it out there before putting the camera out, felt exactly the same as the bottom out where I'm casting onto. And when I was dragging the camera back in, it was skipping over things. So it's obviously got a 3 or 4 inch covering of the silt there, and the leads and the camera cutting through that, so it's so fine to feel the actual bottom. So, oh wow, it's really cleared up, it really clouded up. A couple of little roaches got past it. Anyway, so we're going to go with helicopter leads, or helicopter rigs even, and critically balance some baits, get them nicely drifting down to the bottom, so they're going to sit on top of that. So I have a feeling that my bags are sinking into that silt. It's not a smelly silt, so I don't know, it's not just dry, I'm going to put more. It's probably got a lot of bloodworm in it. Like when I was putting the camera out earlier before I got the recording ability, there's like plumes of black, I don't know, stuff coming out the bottom. It started off right in the back of the picture, and then a few minutes later it come out a little bit closer, and then a little bit closer. If you've ever seen the movie Tremors, it kind of looked like one of them Tremor films. So yeah, we'll get that ready. We'll put a helicopter out there. Oh wow, I don't know what happened there. Wasn't watching the camera, but that's just clouded right up. We'll obviously you guys will see that at the same time as I'm talking. So interesting. Whether we saw that, get to see that or not. Wow, look at that. But yeah, as soon as something comes down, that really does cloud up the screen. Well, can but keep trying. Catch you in a bit, folks. Right folks, I've been watching this underwater camera for about 10 minutes and it appears as though the roach have come in, picked up any of the bits of boiler that was the ground boiler, crush boiler, obviously shown the swimble. So them bags out there, it's probably happened to them as well. That means I've got an helicopter rigs. I fucking hate helicopter rigs. Helicopter rigs. Bit of a longer hook back, I think. Some critically balanced baits. Got some work to do. I've seen a bit.
Got a fish on, mate, think. Oh fuck me, it's gone all the way around the side. That's why I hate fucking helicopter rigs. That'd move 20 metres, maybe 30 metres. Where's the point? About that 25.
I hope it's still in there. Oh yes, it is. So, just done a bit to camera about this particular fish. Went to move the camera to video the release. Realised I hadn't pressed record. Thanks, that probably deserved it. So this one nearly got away undocumented. Right, come on mate, we've done this already. Here we go. Oh, 11 pounds, proper dumpy mirror, right pair of shoulders on him, make a lovely 20 at some point. Toting the nameless homemade bait, 7 wraps out. Just changed to a helicopter rig after a bit of observation on the underwater camera. The bottom seems to have about 3-4 inches worth of silt over the top of it, and then it's quite hard underneath. So when I was leading earlier, it's only 2 foot deep, so 2-3 foot deep, so the lead was just crashing straight through that and straight into the stony bit at the bottom. So I'm getting a bit of a misreading, but you can see someone's clipped the tail there, look. Try to identify this fish. Not in favour of that. Beautiful looking fish, you don't need clipping. So, put him back. Hopefully catch another one this evening. Here we go. Right, come on matey, there you are, there you are. Thank you. Beautiful. Turn you over. Beautiful. Away you go. Thank you very much. Brilliant. That's what we come for. Right folks, 10 o'clock. We're about 45 minutes away from dark o'clock, maybe an hour at the most. Bit of light left in the sky, but not much. Probably not enough for the cameras outside to operate. What am I doing now? Making up a hook length. One already in play on the helicopter rig. And you've probably heard how much I hate helicopter rigs. So why do I hate helicopter rigs? Well, I think out of all the lead presentations that we've got as Carp anglers, I think the helicopter rig is the least sensitive. Yeah, I know you might disagree, so comments down below by all means. Again, start a conversation. But for me, there's a chance, well, it happened on the last fish that I had, chance that the fish picks up the bait, hits the tight line, and then just goes straight up the tight line towards the angler, knocking off the bead. So now we're free running up the line. That knocks might give you 1 or 2 blips, no more than a liner. And it travels up the length of the line, and with the stretch of the nylon and the angle, it's able to kite left and right without setting off the alarm. So I'm using Delkins, and I'm notorious amongst my friends for having them on maximum sensitivity all the time. Partly as a habit from pike fishing, where you kind of need that sort of stuff. But the other reason is I want to know as soon as something's touched the line or touched the lead. Makes you a little bit jumpy when you've had a bit of a break getting back into it, but it doesn't take long to settle down and to know what a proper run is. So I've decided the helicopter is coming off, just can't stand it, and we're going on to some leg clips. And to combat the depth of silt that's out there, so there's about 4 inches of silt, and because it's very shallow water, my lead's going straight through the water column, straight through the silt, and hitting the hard gravelly bit at the bottom. So when I'm pulling back, I'm still getting that the stones underneath, which is what made me think it was pretty hard out there. Underwater camera, godsend. That gave me a right eye opener into what I'm actually fishing on. And the camera probably sits about, well, that high off, maybe 3 inch, 4 inch off of the base unit that it stands on. And you saw earlier, within 10-12 minutes, with just roach, it turned out to be, really swimming around and hitting the smaller particles out there. The amount of debris that they were kicking off, it had covered the screen right up to like 3/4 of the way up there. So that made me think twice about the bags. I see him just burying himself in that bit of silt to start off with, and then as soon as something comes over the top, well, covered.
In the backyard.
Motion in the backyard again. So that's what we've gone to leg clips for. The lead will go through. We're going to use distance lead, so they're quite long. I'll go through the silt, penetrate, hit the bottom. There'll be a little bit of hook length sticking out the top, running across the bottom, hopefully with the bait on the bottom of it, on the end of it rather. So I normally use, you can see it, this ESP tungsten coated stuff. in the extra stiff. Bit like it. But for this application, I'm going to try the soft, because I know my lead's going to sink a little bit, and I don't want the hook length kicking straight out at a weird angle. So I'm going to make up a hook length and swap that over. Say the other rod, currently on a bag, that's going to get swapped over. And the helicopter rig, that's getting swapped over. So double cast a little bit later in the dark, that should be fun. But it's got to be for the greater good. I think it's worth it. I don't want to go home thinking, oh, I should have tried that, didn't. So I'm going to try it. Nothing comes of it, and nothing comes of it. But I'm going to need a bit more light to do what I'm doing, and as soon as I turn this on, the camera is going to freak out. So catch you folks in a bit. I'll knock this rig up, get the rods back in the water, and then see what happens. If you've got this far in the video, folks, maybe drop us a subscribe and a like, comment, press that bell icon, all that sort of stuff. It really does help little channels like me grow. And it's nice to see you in our community. See you in a bit. Right folks, that's both rods back out on their leg clips, back on the spot, one right on the right hand side of the spot and one right on the left hand side of the spot. Pretty much done everything I can do tonight. Do go home in the morning without any more fish, at least I've given it my best, pretty much. What the time is? What time is it? We're up to 11 o'clock. So another hour before midnight. Probably get some food down me now. Really had anything much to eat. Swedish meatballs for breakfast. Chicken bits for lunch. Two handfuls of crisps out of a grab bag. That's about it. Oh. This is dinner tonight. Bivvied Up sweet and sour chicken and rice. I had the Bivvied Up chicken tikka last night, and it's one of them meals that you cook it and eat it, it's nice. You cook it and look at it, it could be off-putting. Kind of looks like it's been eaten once before already. I'm sure I've seen stuff out of my knackers that look vague and similar to that back in the day. But that was all I had, and it was the worst of the two options, so I thought I'd have that one first. And pleasantly surprised. About the same price as a king size pot noodle, and it's actually real food. So thumbs up for that one, Bivvied Up. Give it a try. I got mine from B&M. About it. Definitely time for coffee. Seriously lacking in coffee consumption over this little trip that I've had. So yeah, coffee and then what's left of the boiling water into a pan, and that heats up that boil in the back thing. Delish. Hopefully, cameras will get turned on a little bit later on with another fish. Pretty massive one. That'd be nice. But if there is no more fish, I don't suppose I can really grumble. I've had 3. One bream that we won't talk about, and then there's 2 lovely mirrors. One £11, one about £9.5. Didn't weigh the first one. It was just a little bit smaller than the second one, but not much. Both of them have got them lovely pair of shoulders on them. They're cracking fish a little bit later on. I don't remember whether it had its tail clipped or not there, that first one. I look back. So, not a bad little trip for the first time down my new Syndicate, or return to my old Syndicate. Yeah, return to my old Syndicate, it's not a new Syndicate. Fished this at a long time ago. Oh well, I'll speak to you a bit. hopefully with another fish. See you later. Morning folks, Sunday morning, time to pack up and go home. There was no more interest in the rod last night, so that's pretty much the end of that. Can't be disgruntled though. First trip down the Syndicate in 8-10 years, something like that, and I've had 2 fish. Well, 3 if we count that bream, but nobody really counts bream, do they? So 2 fish on my homemade boilie, the nameless boilie. Still doing all right, although it has it has dropped its average catch poundage today, or over this course of this session. Until today it only had 20s, so I think its average catch of fish now will be probably around 15 pounds, something like that, do the math. But you know, can't catch all the big ones all the time, can you? So I've had fun, I've learned a few bits and pieces. Things have definitely changed in the last 10 years since I've been here, as you would imagine. So next time I'm down, I feel better prepared. Well, at least for fishing down here. This was one of my favourite spots. I can't remember whether it had a name or not, to be honest with you. My other favourite spots on the opposite side of the lake. It used to be called the beach. I don't know if it's still called that, but next place to target for me is going to be there. I fish that spot. And then we're going to start exploring. I think we'll get down again at some point, maybe Wednesday. The boat, do a bit more mapping. Map it all out, and that will give me a lot more intel to work on when the next trip comes down to. So, got pretty much pack up now. Now it's stopped raining, I might make a start. So for me folks, that's it for today. I'll catch you later. Please drop us a subscribe, click the like, press the bell icon, all of that sort of stuff. It really does help. Thanks again. See you soon.